After sneaking down the mountain, I was caught by those damn humans. In the cage, I held my paws high, trying to scare them out of their wits. Dad, look. This red panda is so cute. The older man covered his son's ears. Be good, don't listen, those words are way too filthy. The guy transporting me smoked and laughed. This red panda has no manners at all. Challenge, go 100 days without swearing. Today's day 1, let's start. My name's Toby, and I'm a natural-born demon 2nd gen. I lived deep in the mountains with my parents, leading a happy life of picking on small animals and scaring big ones. One day, Mom left a remark, damn it, I'm so tired of being a bear. Then she turned into a human and left, so fast that I didn't even get a clear look at her human form. Dad stuck the cigarettes he'd stolen from the village behind his barrier. Honey, you can't sneak snacks without me. I froze there, rooted to the spot like a statue. A little magpie I'd picked on before flapped its wings, and its voice carried on the wind, your mom doesn't want you anymore. Magpie mom smacked the little one on the head. We magpies are birds that bring good news. We can't spout profanities like some red pandas do the second they open their mouths. I dropped the bamboo in my paw and let out a shrill yelp. Whoa, what the heck? Mom had said I couldn't go down the mountain until I could fully shift into a human form. But no matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't tuck my big tail away. So I snuck down anyway. I hid and skulked around for days, and after sneaking some apples from an old farmer lady's house, I got caught. I stood up straight, held my paws high, and let out a menacing dog-like growl. The man in uniform pulled out a stack of cash and handed it to the grandma. We'll compensate you for all the damage this red panda caused, full price. Granny grinned so wide you could see all her teeth. It's nothing. Kids these days, if they're misbehaving, just spank 'em a few more times. But no more stealing, okay? I yelled and screamed at Grandma, only to get slapped across the face out of the blue. The guy with a cigarette in his mouth snapped, how do you talk to people? Don't you know you should respect the elderly and care for the young? I was loaded into a car and taken to a place called a zoo. Before entering, a person in a white lab coat came over, saying they needed to give me a physical exam. Mom had told me, if a girl's out alone and someone tries to touch you, bite 'em. So I sank my teeth into the white coat's hand. The zookeeper scrambled over to pry my mouth open, and one of them even snuck in a few strokes on my big tail while they were at it. I hate the zoo, but now I love the zoo so much. There's delicious food every day, little apples show up right on time in the bowl by the door. Zoo life is really great, except for the occasional loneliness. One day, I was darting around the yard when I suddenly heard screams coming from the next enclosure. Curious, I stuck my head through to take a look. A big, chubby black and white ball of fluff was lying leisurely on a bamboo chair, munching on bamboo. Every now and then, it'd wave its huge, thick paw at the crowd outside, setting off another round of screams. Oh, it's a giant panda. It's giant panda Jake. He's so cute. The black and white fluff ball stuck out a short, chubby leg and wobbled it nonstop. Humans sure are enthusiastic, he murmured. Through the dense foliage and iron railings, our eyes met suddenly. Beneath his over-the-top eye makeup were a pair of small, beady eyes. Is he a demon too? Zookeeper. Stupid human, are you an idiot? I want that bamboo chair too, and lots of little apples next to it. Did you hear me? I clung to her leg, refusing to let her go. She picked me up in one hand and cooed, be a good boy/girl, go play over there. I wasn't having it. I scratched a few marks on her boots, then kept pointing frantically at the giant panda's enclosure next door. Are you deaf? I want that chair. If you don't give it to me, I'll scratch you to pieces. Why does he get it and I don't? The zookeeper laughed warmly. Why's my little one so clingy today? The vet standing nearby sighed in resignation. It's not clingy, it's cursing at you. This red panda has no manners at all. I flailed my paws and pounced at him. You're the one with no manners. Too bad he didn't seem to understand a word I said. The vet held my head down with one hand. No matter how wildly I flailed my tiny paws, I couldn't even brush the hem of his coat. I'm gonna ask the zoo director to move this ill-mannered little rascal to giant panda Jake's enclosure, he said. The zookeeper looked confused. Can giant pandas and red pandas live together? Jake's the zoo's star attraction. You know what else they call him? The troublemaker tamer, the vet replied, a cruel grin spreading across his face. That night, I was picked up and carted off to the giant panda's enclosure next door. The giant panda, who was easily twice my size, strolled toward me. I was so scared that the fur on my tail stood straight up. As a demon 2nd gen, I wasn't afraid of any ordinary animal, but I was terrified of demons stronger than me. Don't touch me. I started spouting a string of colorful Chinese phrases, all the swears I'd learned from Mom. A big, thick paw gently rested on my forehead. Little demons shouldn't use foul language, he said. His powerful demonic aura wrapped around me. Even though his voice was soft and refined, it sent chills down my spine. It was the middle of the night, and all the zookeepers were asleep. I huddled in a corner, warily eyeing giant panda Jake not far away. 2 hours earlier, he'd just spanked my butt. I'm so humiliated. When I got spanked, the zookeeper even stood by taking photos, cackling away. Little Lele, come sleep over here. Giant Panda Jake called out. My name's Toby, not Lele. How could your name be Toby? Toby's a brand of potato chips. Toby's a red panda. He cleared half the nest for me and told me to lie down. It was so warm. The next day, I was woken up by a crow. Jake had already gone to work, to entertain the visitors, and I was the only one left in the nest. The sun's gonna scorch your butt, so lazy, the crow squawked. You're such a lazy little girl. I was already grumpy from being woken up, and getting scolded made me see red. I was just about to blurt out a swear word when my butt suddenly throbbed faintly. Yesterday, while spanking me, Giant Panda Jake had asked if I'd stop using bad language from then on. Hey, damn it, can you just get the hell away? You're pissing me off. I'll pluck every feather off your wings. The crow let out a harsh, croaky shriek. Help. The red panda's gonna kill the crow. I'm becoming more and more well-mannered, and the zoo director was really pleased with me. He decided to move me back to my own enclosure. Giant Panda Jake seemed a little reluctant to let me go. Finally, someone who can understand what I'm saying, he muttered. Little red panda, you gotta grow up fast. When you're all grown up, you'll turn into a giant panda, just as strong as me. What an idiot, does he not know anything? I flew into a rage. Who are you calling not strong enough? I pounced on him, trying to scratch his face. The director told the zookeepers to pull us apart right away. He sighed earnestly. Lele's little troublemaker reform isn't finished yet. Let her stay with Jake a bit longer. Is that a good idea, director? Someone asked. Our zoo already signed up for that variety show. When we're on TV, if the giant panda and red panda are sharing an enclosure, people will think we're so broke we can't afford separate ones. The zookeeper lady, though, didn't seem to care. She pulled out her phone and said, look how many new fans we've gained from the giant panda and red panda's interactions these days. I say keep them together, it's great for drawing crowds to the zoo. And just like that, Jake and I were back to sharing an enclosure again. A few days later, hordes of people flooded the zoo, more than the ants in an anthill. Several well-dressed men and women stood in front of the giant panda enclosure. Several black cameras were set up in front of them, and they were introducing themselves. My name's Luna. Hello, dear audience. I'm thrilled to be here with the crew of ordinary professions to experience a day as an animal keeper. She suddenly froze. Oh my God, Toby, what are you doing in there? The woman, who'd been in the middle of her introduction, stared at me in shock. Our eyes met, and she called my name without hesitation. There was something in her tone that strangely reminded me of my mom. But she couldn't be my mom. I knew that for sure. My mom was a red panda, and she was just a human. The guests were split into two teams. The woman named Luna clung to a handsome guy with perfect charm in an overly cutesy manner. Brother Tom, I want to be on your team. The guy, who exuded charm, subtly stepped aside to avoid her. The others also wore looks of disgust. Besides the show crew, a crowd of onlookers had gathered behind the police tape. At that moment, they let out a collective sound of disapproval. This Luna's been clinging to people left and right, so shameless. Okay, definitely confirmed Luna isn't my mom. 'Cause my mom would just slap M twice, one hard slap across the face, and another. Who would have thought? Another girl with a cute look also hooked her arm around the other side of the handsome guy. Brother Tom, I want to be on your team too. The guy patted her hair gently. Sure, Lily, let's team up. Wow, what a love triangle. She likes him, and she likes him too? Team up for what? To clean our poop together? Grandpa Director showed up with a smile and started assigning tasks. There are 167 species of animals living in the zoo. Our zookeeper's daily work involves feeding the animals, cleaning up their waste, and tidying their enclosures. Now, let our career experiencers start your journey as zookeepers. Before the words were even out of his mouth, Luna dashed into the giant panda enclosure and grabbed me by the scruff of my neck. Where no one else could see, she spoke in a cold, menacing tone. Toby, you've got some nerve, sneaking around behind your mom's back to do this kind of cute-for-attention gig at the zoo. Is this my mom? This is my mom. I was sure of it, only my mom would treat me like this. Mom, where have you been? I missed you so much. I pounced and clung to her leg. The cameraman hurried over and captured this heartwarming mother and child moment on film. You little rascal, tell me, where's the task card hidden? My mom whispered, threateningly. The follow-up director frowned. Ms. Luna, your microphone isn't on, we can't pick up your audio. My mom put on an artificial, phony smile. Got it, director. She turned to me, suddenly picked me up, and put on an over-the-top expression with an exaggerated tone. What an adorable red panda. Come here and let Auntie give you a kiss. I froze in place, horrified. In the pile of poop, go look there, I whispered directly into my mom's ear. Mom looked pretty good in her human form, she even smelled nice. I curled myself around her neck, just like I did when I was little. Meanwhile, she was rummaging through the poop. I pressed close to her ear and directed her. It's not in my poop, it's in the giant panda's poop pile next door. Mom's hands froze. No way, I can't bring myself to rummage through another cup's poop. Mom, don't be scared. Giant Panda's poop smells good. He eats bamboo every day, so his poop even has a bamboo scent. Unlike me, I love eating little apples and bugs, so my poop stinks to high heaven. Mom took a couple of deep breaths. Sweetie, are there any other task cards? Yeah, I kept it in my enclosure, I said innocently. Why didn't you say so earlier? You never asked. Mom carried me on her shoulder to my enclosure to find the task card. On it was written, recreate a classic moment, complete the Giant Panda Spanks Red Panda Challenge. After the staff explained, Mom took out her phone and downloaded Douyin, TikTok. On the trending page, there was a video of a red panda with its paws on its hips, yelling nonstop at a giant panda, who then pinned the red panda to the ground and spanked it. The video already had 30 million likes and over 100,000 comments. Top comment, these pandas are totally spiritually awakened, like they've gained human sense. Both of them. Second comment, I'm obsessed with this pair. Gentle yet scheming giant panda times feisty cutie red panda. Mom flew into a rage. Damn it. No one but me gets to hit my daughter's butt. Take me to that giant panda. I'm gonna kick his ass. I pointed with my tiny paw, brimming with pride. Jake's in big trouble now. Mom's here for him. The giant panda, who was putting on a lively show for the crowd, sat in a rocking chair, munching on bamboo and waving at the visitors, every now and then making the crowd erupt in screams. Mom marched over and kicked the rocking chair. So you're the one who bullied my girl? Giant panda Jake looked totally bewildered. His beady eyes locked onto Mom, and the terrifying aura of two powerful demons clashed in the air. The onlookers, though, just kept cheering and laughing, clueless about what was really going on. Too cute. The historic meetup of Giant Panda and Red Panda. Can that annoying woman Luna just disappear already? She's even leeching off the panda's popularity. Spank her. Spank her. Spank her. 3 seconds later, Mom's aura weakened. She scowled fiercely, her face twisted in a grumpy pout. You bullied my girl, you can't bully me too, you know. Giant Panda Jake spoke slowly. I didn't bully her. Kids shouldn't use foul language. This was discipline. Mom's aura might have dimmed, but she still had my back. My girl isn't a kid anymore. She looks like a 16-year-old girl in her human form, yet you spanked her. Giant Panda Jake hopped up from the ground in an instant, then suddenly dropped to his knees. I'm sorry. I thought she was a 5-year-old kid. It was my thoughtlessness. I apologize for the offense. Mom's expression softened a lot. She's only been born for 5 years, but I carried her for 60 years. She's a demon second gen. The giant panda's eyes widened in shock. The argument between Mom and Jake was cut off by the director's roar over Mom's earpiece. Who was in charge of the mics today? Why can't we hear Luna again? Oh my god, why is the giant panda on his knees? Did you catch that on camera? Did you? The menacing aura faded, and Mom's earpiece started working again. She tore up the task card in one go, her voice coming through the mic loud and clear to the director. What kind of stupid task is this? Only someone with a brain full of bugs would come up with this crap. Damn it. Giant Panda Jake shot me a glance. Your mom's a lot like you know. After tearing up the task card, Mom decided to check out. She ditched the cameraman, grabbed me, and pulled me aside. You silly kid, who told you to come to a lousy place like the zoo? What's wrong with the zoo? It's great here. I get little apples every day. You fool. I spent 60 years doing prenatal education for you, told you countless stories, don't you get it? Animals in the zoo are just like those people in brothels. They're all selling their cuteness and themselves for others' amusement. I fidgeted with my paws, miserably saying, but the zookeeper's sisters are really nice to me, and Grandpa Director gives me extra snacks every day. I'm not talking about them, I'm talking about the tourists. Following Mom's gaze, I saw the frenzied fans outside taking photos of the animals. Some even reached out to touch them now and then. Humans are taking advantage of us, Mom stated firmly. I turned and walked away. I don't care, I'm not leaving the zoo anyway. And Mom, look who's talking. Isn't it easier for you, a celebrity, to get taken advantage of? That's different. I'm a star, an idol, got it? My fans adore me so much, how could they ever take advantage of me? Mom tossed her head, flipping her long hair dramatically. You little rascal, get back to the mountains right now, otherwise, your dad and I will tag team to spank you. I ran to where the cameras were, slipped through a small door into my enclosure, and Mom couldn't reach me no matter how hard she stretched her hand. Outside the enclosure, the crowd was in an uproar. The handsome guy named Tom walked in, holding a task card. A girl in the crowd shouted loudly, "Brother, stop that woman Luna quickly, she's bullying the red panda." Tom's cameraman panned the camera over to us, capturing Mom looking ferocious as she stretched her arm out to grab me, while I stood against the wall with my paws raised, looking utterly pitiful. Misunderstandings, all just misunderstandings. Mom stood up, brushing her hair gently with a staggeringly enchanting and coquettish air. Tom frowned. Luna, I don't approve of how you're acting. Can't you learn from Lily? Lily was the cute girl standing right beside him. Learn what? Mom shot back. Learn to be as kind and well-behaved as Lily. Mom's expression shifted repeatedly, not exactly sad, nor happy, but a weird, indescribable look. She replied stiffly, "Oh." Cute little Lily beside them was holding a rabbit plushie, but her big, watery eyes were fixed on me. Tom handed her a pen, gesturing for her to fill out the task card. But she just stared off into space, and without thinking, tucked the pen behind her ear. Wait a second, that move looks so familiar. It reminds me of my dad, who's obsessed with stealing human cigarettes to smoke. Lily smiled at me, mouthed the words silently, "Sweetie, Dad's here." No, no, no. My dad is definitely not a cute little girl. Lily, pens are for writing, you little dummy. Tom curled his finger and flicked her on the forehead. Gross. The show was set to film for 3 days, and the first day flew by in the blink of an eye. That night, after the crew had packed up and left, my parents snuck into the zoo under the cover of darkness. When I saw the 2 red pandas, back in their familiar forms I knew so well, I dashed over excitedly and tumbled into their arms. I took out some apples to treat them, but Mom looked totally disgusted. "Do you know how many little apples I could buy with 1 month's work?" she snapped, then grabbed an apple and chomped into it, crunching away. In the end, she even snatched the one Dad was holding. "Honey, save me a bite," Dad begged. When Mom ignored him, he put on a pathetic face and whimpered, "Do you have any idea what I've been through these past few days? That Tom guy was hitting on me, and he slipped me a hotel room key. So what's the big deal about giving me a bite of the apple?" Dad retorted, indignant. Fine, eat it." Mom wiped the apple on her fur and shoved it into his paw. "Hubby, wanna get more little apples?" she asked. "You gotta stick to Tom like glue. That way, our popularity'll skyrocket. Once we're famous and make tons of money, we can have all the little apples we want, total apple freedom." Mom skillfully started feeding him empty promises. A cool, gentle voice drifted over from next door, "What you're doing is wrong." Behind the railing, a giant panda sat crouched. Suddenly, a flash of golden light burst forth. He transformed into a tall, slender human form. He strolled casually through the gap between the railings of the giant panda and red panda enclosures. When I got a clear look at his face, his eyes were still those tiny, beady ones, round and slightly droopy, like an innocent little puppy's. He looked like a teen around 16 or 17, wearing a simple t-shirt in panda colors. My parents also shifted into their human forms. Dad, back in his male body, tried to puff out his chest, but he was still a tiny bit shorter than the teen. Leeching off others' popularity is wrong, especially when you're pretending to be a girl to do it. That's not right. Actors should rely on their own skills, the teen said. Dad cut him off rudely. "Hey, hold on, who the hell are you anyway?" "I'm Toby's neighbor, giant panda Jake." Dad was only gentle and helpless around Mom and me. Out in the world, he was a tough, powerful demon. "Just a neighbor? Mind your own business. Keep yapping, and I'll tell my daughter to beat you up," he snarled fiercely. Back when he'd just finished his cultivation and become a demon, he'd even been a mountain bandit for a while. I was the only red panda among a group of humans, and that felt weird. I took a deep breath and concentrated hard to shift into my human form. After a faint blue glow faded, the fur on my body gradually disappeared, and slender limbs grew in its place. "Sweetie, your tail's still showing," Mom said as she stroked my big tail, looking like she was at her wit's end with her clumsy kid. Jake stared at me without blinking. A blush crept up from his neck, spread across his face, and kept going all the way to the tips of his ears. "Why'd you suddenly shift into?" He didn't finish his sentence. Instead, he spun around so fast that he crashed into the railing, knocking it over with a bang, before shifting back into his giant panda form in an instant. He stuck out his 2 black paws to prop the railing back up, then vanished right away. "Sweetie, you scared that giant panda away," Mom said. "Let me look at your human form. This doesn't make sense. You've got those charming peach blossom eyes and cherry lips. You're so cute. Why'd you scare him off? Could it be he thinks your half-human, half-demon look is scary?" I flicked my big tail behind me, feeling absolutely furious. The next day, even more people showed up to watch. The zoo was packed to the brim. Bright and early, Tom appeared on camera with a huge black eye, and even the host couldn't help asking about it. Tom smiled good-naturedly. "I upset someone," he said. With that, he shifted his gaze to my mom. It was practically a blatant accusation. She was the one who'd hit him. From across the railing, I watched Mom's face darken until it looked like the bottom of a burnt pot. Beyond the police tape, Tom's diehard fans weren't having it. They started shouting, "Call the cops. This is assault. Luna is so disgusting. If she can't have him, she wants to ruin him, right? Oh my god, I can already picture the whole drama. Luna must have confessed to him and gotten rejected, then flew into a rage and hit our guy. Girls being this violent is just wrong. Look at that red panda. It's been leaning on the railing, watching outside for ages. It's totally people watching. I want to snuggle it until its fur falls out. The giant panda's peeking at the red panda, and the red panda's peeking at Luna. Oh wow, what kind of magic does this Luna have?" I thought for a second, then ran 3 steps at a time, hopped over the railing, and succeeded in my prison break. I curled around Mom's shoulder and nuzzled her affectionately. The crowd erupted in envious squawks. Damn it. Why does that scheming woman Luna get to have it snuggle up to her? Who wouldn't want to swap places with Luna right now? What's so special about Luna anyway? The giant panda knelt for her, and the red panda's sticking to her. Why can't I be the one cuddling with the pandas too? Before we knew it, Mom's reputation had started to turn around. The second day's task was a card collecting game. There were 167 animal species in the zoo, and cards were hidden in the animals' enclosures. The guests would compete individually, and whoever collected the most cards would become the zoo's charity ambassador. After the director explained the rules, I thought for a second, then pulled a card out from behind my tail and handed it to Mom. It can understand human speech. It's so smart. Girls behind the police tape screamed, Luna, I'm your biggest fan. Can you let the red panda snuggle me too? Sister Luna, I'm not greedy. I just want to take the red panda home and snuggle its belly every day. Mom looked like she was facing a mortal enemy, terrified that someone might kidnap me. Tom yelled out, this isn't right, director. This is cheating. Who knows what trick Luna used to make the red panda give her the card. Weird, yesterday he seemed like such a sunny, handsome guy, but today he was being so gloomy and petty. Mom rolled her eyes at him, pursed her lips, and said in a sarcastic tone, who knows what trick Luna used. Whatever could the trick be? Card collecting games? I'm so good at those. Back when I was still cultivating inside Mom's belly, she spent ages collecting cards from Little Raccoon instant noodles. You could trade 38 cards for a whole case of instant noodles. Back then, Dad would pick fruits every day to sell, just to get enough money to go into the city and buy a few packs of instant noodles. They thought human food was super nutritious, and if they ate nutritious food, the baby they had would be smart. That's why I'm so clever. I curled around Mom's neck like a scarf. Mom, let's go get the card from the giant panda enclosure first. If we ask Jake nicely, he'll definitely give it to us. Sweetie, did you forget what your dad and I did when we first became demons? We're bandits. I froze, too stunned to say a word. Mom furrowed her brows. The wind ruffled her long hair, making it dance in the air. She tilted her head 45 degrees to look up at the sky and declared, when it comes to robbing, no one's ever beaten me. Dad, with his cute little face, turned to glance at her. Their eyes met, and the air crackled with tension, like gunpowder ready to ignite. Before we split up, Dad made a point of scurrying over and mouthing silently, even if you're my wife, I won't go easy on you. Real men need ambition.